I found out my wife cheated with her ex-husband right before my stepdaughter's wedding, and my daughter helped hide it. Now they're both begging me to come back, but I've already moved on. Hello Reddit I plus here. I don't even know where to start because the last 6 weeks of my life feel like someone else's bad movie. I'm 56M. I was married for 18 years to my wife Nadine, 54F. She had a daughter from a previous relationship, Alina, now 27F. Her biological father disappeared when she was little. I stepped in when she was 9. I raised her. School runs, hospital visits, late night talks, tuition, her first car, everything. She called me dad for years. And now I'm apparently just a placeholder. This all started when her ex, Victor, came back into the picture. The man had been gone for almost 2 decades. No birthdays, no child support, no phone calls, nothing. Then suddenly, he shows up again like some kind of reformed hero. At first I tried to be reasonable. People change, right? I figured maybe he wanted to reconnect with his daughter before her wedding. That seemed fair. I even encouraged it. I told Alina she deserved closure. Big mistake. Within a week, my house stopped feeling like my house. Every conversation was about Victor. Victor said this. Victor thinks that. Victor knows a better venue. Victor might help upgrade the reception. It was constant, like I had been slowly erased and replaced with a louder, flashier version. I tried to point things out calmly. I mentioned how he'd already canceled 2 meetups last minute, how some of his stories didn't add up, how he kept making big promises but never following through. No one listened. Not my wife, not my daughter. It was like they were hypnotized. The breaking point came 4 days before the wedding. I overheard them talking in the living room about seating arrangements and ceremony plans. I wasn't even part of the conversation, just passing by, but I heard enough. Victor would be walking Alina down the aisle, not me. Not even a discussion about it. Not even a heads up. Just replaced. I stood there longer than I should have, waiting for my name to come up. It didn't. That was the moment something inside me went quiet. I didn't yell, I didn't confront them right away, I just went upstairs and started packing a bag. Later that evening, Alina found me folding clothes into a suitcase. She looked confused, like I was the one acting strange. She started talking, rambling really. Oh, I forgot to tell you earlier. It's just that things have been so hectic since he came back. He's just different. He has this energy, you know? Even Mom said. She stopped mid-sentence. That's when it finally hit her who she was talking to. I just looked at her and said, yeah, I've noticed his energy. I can also see why he's good at convincing people. She tried to laugh it off, but her voice was shaky. I told her plainly, I knew about the aisle. I knew I had been cut out. And honestly, that wasn't even the worst part anymore. She kept apologizing, saying it was her decision, not his, that I shouldn't be angry at him. That's when I realized something else. She was protecting him. The man who abandoned her, the man who missed her entire childhood. Meanwhile, I was the one being treated like an inconvenience. So I asked her one question. Where's your mom? The way her eyes shifted told me everything before she even spoke. That morning, completely by accident, I had found something in Nadine's bag. Protection. Something we hadn't needed in years for obvious reasons. And suddenly, all the late-night errands, the secretive phone calls, the way she'd been dressing differently, it all clicked. I told Alina what I found. She didn't look shocked. That hurt more than anything else. It meant she knew, or at least suspected, and she said nothing. I asked her straight up if she thought this whole situation was some kind of romantic reunion. If she imagined we'd all just blend into one happy family again, only this time with a richer, more exciting version of her father. She tried to deny it, but there was no conviction behind her words. At that point, I realized there was nothing left to salvage. I told her calmly that whatever relationship we had ended right there. Not because of the aisle, not even because of her mother, but because she knew, and she chose silence. I hugged her anyway. I don't even know why. Habit, maybe. Or because part of me still saw the little girl I raised. I told her I loved her, past tense. Then I left. I didn't slam doors. I didn't make a scene. I just walked out of the house I had paid for, lived in, and built memories in for nearly 2 decades. I sat in my car for a while just thinking. Then I drove off. Later that night, I came back and parked down the street. I don't even know what I was hoping to see. Maybe I wanted confirmation. Maybe I wanted closure. Maybe I just wanted to make it hurt enough that I wouldn't second-guess leaving. A few minutes later, Alina sped out of the driveway like her life depended on it. I followed at a distance. She went straight to a small roadside motel. I already knew. I didn't need proof, but I got out of the car anyway. I could hear voices through the door before it opened. Alina was shouting, panicked. Then Nadine opened the door. She looked terrified. Not guilty, not caught. Terrified. Behind her, Victor was there too. I had imagined anger, betrayal, maybe even indifference. But what I saw instead was chaos, fear, regret. And for a split second, I felt something I didn't expect. Relief, Because whatever they had created together, it wasn't the fairy tale they had convinced themselves it would be. I didn't say anything, I didn't take pictures. I just turned around, got back in my car, switched off my phone, and drove into the night. That was 6 weeks ago. Since then, Nadine has called me over 40 times. Messages, emails, even showing up at my office once. Alina has reached out too. Long texts about mistakes, confusion, how she got caught up in everything. Apparently Victor is gone again. Shocking, right? This time he didn't even make it to the wedding. Now they both want me back. Apologies, tears, promises. But here's the thing. I already mourned them. Not after I left. Before. During those weeks where I was invisible in my own home. During those conversations where I was replaced by a ghost from the past. During that moment when my daughter chose silence over honesty. You can't come back from that. I've moved into a smaller place. It's quiet, peaceful. For the first time in a long while, I'm not competing with anyone for my own life. Still, I'd be lying if I said it doesn't sting sometimes. So I guess I'm here asking, am I wrong for refusing to go back? Or is walking away the only thing I did right in all of this? I got a long paragraph's message from Nadine about 18 years can't just be erased. Voice notes full of tears, photos from old vacations like that was supposed to rewind time. Alina followed the same script, just softer. More "Dad, please," and "I miss you?" I didn't respond, so they escalated. 2 Saturdays later, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something told me to pick up. It was Nadine, not crying this time, calm, careful. She said she'd made a mistake. Said she had been emotionally manipulated by Victor. Claimed he had lied about being stable, about wanting a real family again. According to her, he had been the one pushing everything, the wedding involvement, the late-night meetings, all of it. Then she dropped the line she clearly practiced. I chose wrong, but I'm choosing you now. I actually laughed, not loudly, just enough for her to hear it wasn't landing. I told her she didn't choose me. She lost the other option. She didn't like that. That's when the tone changed. Suddenly I was cold, unforgiving. Throwing away a family over a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. That word sat wrong with me. So I asked her one thing. If I hadn't walked away that day, would she have stopped? Silence. Then she tried a different angle. She said Alina was falling apart, that she blamed herself, that if I had any love left, I should at least come talk to her. There it was. The leverage. I expected it, but it still hit. For a second, I almost gave in. Not for Nadine, but for the girl I raised. Then I remembered the look on Alina's face when I told her what I found. Not shock, not confusion. Recognition. I told Nadine I hoped Alina would be okay, but I wasn't coming back to fix something I didn't break. She hung up on me. I thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't. 3 days later, I came home from work and found them both sitting outside my apartment building. No warning, no message, just waiting. Alina stood up the moment she saw me. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't been sleeping. She started crying before she even reached me, not loud, dramatic crying, the kind that just leaks out when someone's been holding it in too long. She kept saying she was sorry, that she got caught up in the idea of having her real dad back, that she thought everything would somehow fall into place if she just went along with it. Then Nadine stepped in, and that's when it shifted again. She started talking over Alina, filling in gaps, controlling the narrative. Suddenly it wasn't just regret anymore. Now there were conditions. We can fix this, but you need to meet us halfway. You walking away like this is damaging everyone. We're willing to forgive things said in anger if you are. Forgive. That word almost made me smile. I asked her very calmly what exactly she thought she was forgiving me for. She didn't answer directly, just kept talking in circles about hurt on both sides. That's when I knew this wasn't about accountability. It was about resetting things without consequences, about me coming back and pretending none of it mattered. Alina looked between us, confused, like she was realizing this wasn't going the way she expected. So I made it simple. I told them both I wasn't angry anymore. And that was the problem, because anger can be negotiated with. It can be softened, redirected, apologized away. But indifference? There's nothing to work with. I told Alina I hoped she builds a good life. I meant it. I told Nadine I hope she figures out why she needed chaos to feel something. I meant that too. Then I walked past them, unlocked my door, and went inside. No shouting, no final speech, just done. They stayed outside for a while. I could hear muffled voices through the door. At one point, I think Alina knocked, but I didn't answer. Eventually, they left. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, the messages have stopped. No more calls, no surprise visits, just silence. And honestly, it's the most peaceful thing they've given me in a long time.